Welcome to Cawffee Tawk. I'm
Let's
Mark.
rock Cawffee Tawk!
This is my partner Kirsten,
Hi, Kirsten.
Hi, Doug.
How you doing?
and we have Doug James in our studios.
I'm back.
The infamous one and only.
I'm like that fly paper. You can't get rid of me. Yeah.
Doug, what was that we just saw in our open here?
Oh, that was Roxy Gorman from our Woodstock show doing Jefferson Airplane. But of course, Jefferson Airplane was a big part of the next show that we're doing, which is coming up June 17th at 2:10. And we're going to give you 3 hours of the Summer of Love, 1967. We're going to go back in time. Everything from like the debut of the Doors album. 67 was a killer year for music. Sgt. Pepper, Surrealistic Pillow, which Jefferson Airplane song. And that of course, was the first album that Gracie Slick was a member of Jefferson Airplane. Prior to that, they were together before that. And she joined that band, and that was their first album with her. You've got all these massive songs that still you hear today. It's unbelievable. Soul Man, Sam and Dave. Respect by Aretha Franklin. You know, and you see all that year, the Monkees songs, Daydream Believer, I'm a Believer,
I'm like,
Shrek. I mean, they're in movies. I heard Guardian of the Galaxy. What did I hear? I heard one of the songs from '67 in Guardian of the Galaxy 2. I saw it the other, and I was like, I just had to laugh to myself about it because it was really an amazing year for music, and then all of these events happened. You know, like June 1st of '67 is which we just recently saw on the TV news. Everybody was talking about, well, the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper. You know, and oddly enough.
That was Doug's best DJ voice from the very
Oh, that wasn't my best, but that was one of them. I mean, I can do Laid Back Lenny, too.
Oh, there you go. See?
And that's another thing. Tom Donahue at KFRC FM, the first FM alternative music radio station
In
out of San Francisco in 1967.
Wow.
Yeah, man. All this stuff happened. It was for real. I know we were all sitting back here in the Midwest like going, what? Well, you weren't. You weren't even born. You weren't even born. Oh my God, you guys!
I was
oh
a
my.
wee baby.
Okay, all right.
This big, though.
All right. The big alert here. That's the year I graduated high school. So I wanted to get the hell out and leave Iowa and the farm, and I wanted to go to San Francisco, wear some flowers in my hair, drink some of that Annie Greenspring or that rosé they had in the pouch. You know, they had like these leather pouches, and they were drinking their wine. You know.
So what is that like to be?
This old?
To be that old.
Well, I'll tell you what.
No.
It's a bitch.
I mean,
It's got to be awesome.
it's almost like the world was being made for people your age.
Yeah.
Right then and there.
Yeah.
And you were that age.
It was an era that it really started a year before in '66. That was the true Summer of Love. The more I read about it, I found out that was really the year that, like, you know, Pet Sounds from the Beach Boys and the Beatles heard that, and they went, oh my God. And then they went into the studio and put together Sgt. Pepper and then Magical Mystery Tour. They were inspired by that. All of these different things going on. And then '67 came along, and John Phillips of the Mamas and the Papas, along with a few other people, Van Dyke Parks, people like that. And they're like saying, oh, got the Monterey Pop Festival coming up in June, you know, this is going to be the summer of love. Somebody coined the phrase. John Phillips wrote the song, if you're going to San Francisco, put flowers in your hair, right? Yeah. That was a jingle. John Phillips wrote that as a jingle for promoting the Summer of Love concert and the start of Summer of Love at the Monterey Pop Festival.
Wow.
And pushed the Monterey Pop Festival.
Those jingle writers, man.
And then it became and then Scott McKenzie had his version. It became a single, one of the biggest singles that year, and it was a huge hit record all over the world, not just in the U.S. It only got as high on the Billboard charts, I think, as maybe top 10. It was never number one, but all over the world, it was a huge song. And so people started gathering. People from all over the world started coming to San Francisco in 1967. And the mayor of San Francisco did not want hippies. They did not want hippies. And I was looking through the San Francisco Chronicle. They've got some great stuff in there. I was reading through it. And people would, there are pictures. Jim Marshall took some phenomenal pictures of Janis Joplin and all these other people. But there were some pictures of like families in their car on their summer vacation visiting San Francisco, and the mom and the kids looking out the window at the hippies.
Kind of like animals in a zoo.
Yeah, and everybody's out there just all, like this. It was sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I mean, it was totally crazed. And to answer your question about to be a kid, a 17 or 18-year-old kid at that time, wanting to get out there and do that and see that and experience that and be a part of that, it was frustrating to be stuck back home with, as I used to call my dad, the first lieutenant. So, I didn't get a chance to get out and experience that, but being in radio, I had a chance to experience it. So it's something that I wanted to bring to life, and this being the 50th anniversary and everything, and this has been building up for a couple of years, something I've been wanting to do. I did the Woodstock show a couple of years ago. I did the Joe Cocker show, back in 2010 on the 40th anniversary of the Mad Dogs and Englishmen tour, and everything has been growing ever since then. All the other things I've done has been kind of culminating to this, and I've got a group of people now, musicians that I know. I'm about 60 deep. And I've had to select just a few. I can't use everybody, unfortunately. I'd like to, but I select. I've got a few people that I use, and I'll use others in other future shows. Hopefully, there'll be more shows to come to replicate that year. Mm-hmm. And the way I'm doing the year is this: we're starting out with the debut of the Doors. Rick Dembski, played bass in my band, Doug James in the Pocket, for 7 years. Yeah. Great singer, tremendous bass player. He referred to himself the other night as, I'm not bad for a part-time musician.
Yeah, not bad.
No,
yeah.
not at all.
No.
Well, you should hear him sing Jim Morrison.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. He kind of nails it. And then I've got Jay Martini, who I made my music director, and he's the keyboardist and has played with us now for a year and a half or two, and outstanding, and got his degree in music at the University of Iowa. So he and I immediately hit it off. Yeah. But he's really helped structure and helped me get all the songs, as many songs as we could possibly get. Now we're probably going to recreate maybe 60 songs, maybe more, a few more, not many more, in that 3-hour span. But you go through the Doors, you'll go through the Surrealistic Pillow album with the Jefferson Airplane. We'll go through Sgt. Pepper with a few songs. We look at the entire year. I went through the WLS and the WCFL surveys, music surveys from 1967, and put together the music list. And I gave Jay about 100 songs, and I said, can we get all 100 of these in? He says, no, there's no way. So he pared it down to probably about 65, I think, songs or so.
Yeah, I think that's what he told me at the last show he and I sat at. He said he's got about 65 songs.
Yeah,
it's 2-minute songs.
It's massive.
And
a lot of them are
like
2-minute songs anyway.
Minutes, right.
Yeah, they were 2 minutes anyway. But some of the stuff, Happy Together by the Turtles,
And the Buckinghams.
And the Buckinghams had
Buckinghams.
kind of a drag, was like the number 5 song of the year on Billboard.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't realize that the Buckinghams, they were huge all over the country.
Yeah. Chicago
so,
guys.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mercy, Mercy, and Hey Baby, They're Playing Our Song, and Don't You Care. Those are all just from 1967.
Right. And those are
songs
some
right there.
awesome songs.
So there were some songs we left out, like Snoopy versus the Red Baron. I'm sorry to disappoint people. Not everything just seemed that cool, But most of the songs that we do, they stand up to today. I got Sal Canzone on drums. I'm starting to tell you about the guys in the band. Mm-hmm. Sally, first of all, his experience, he was on the West Coast. He's from Chicago originally, but he spent many years as a musician out on the West Coast. Played with Cal David at the Blue Guitar in Palm Desert. He ran the Jam out there for years. Tremendous drummer. So he's like my core drummer. I've got Rick as my core bass player and singer, and Sal sings too. I've got Dennis Costas. Oh my God, what a find! Thank you, Jay Martini, for finding Dennis, who played in Have a Cigar. He's the guitar player in the Pink Floyd band that we had, Pink Floyd at 210.
Boy, Dennis Costas.
He's
oh my
a
God. talented
He's
man,
a guitar
isn't he?
monster. Yeah.
He's
And
crazy
what's
good.
cool is that his ear, the sounds. We're working very hard to recreate the actual, the music and how it sounded, and to get those effects. And so those are the four guys: Sal, Dennis, Rick, and Jay. And then from there, my horn players, I got Mike Willens and I got Mitch the Lip Goldman playing horns. I've got our favorite Van Morrison guy. We've got Gene Wygant. Oh my God,
Wizard.
the Wizard from
Gene
Wicked.
Wygant.
The guy performs on Broadway. He's performed here in Chicago, of course, and did the national tour of Wicked as the Wizard. And he sings stuff like, he'll do anything from like Buffalo Springfield to the Monkees to the Association. And if you've ever seen the documentary about the Wrecking Crew, the L.A. musicians, Tommy Tedeschi and Hal Blaine and all of these guys that were just like monsters, they literally created a lot of the 60s music that came from the West Coast, from Capitol Records and Columbia and all of that stuff. It's unbelievable. They're the guys. They were the Monkees. Mm-hmm. They were the musicians on the Monkees tunes. They were the musicians on the Association tunes.
Still have not seen that.
Oh, the record.
Oh,
really
it's a
wanna see
great
it.
documentary.
Yeah,
I
really
recommend
wanna
people
see
see
it.
that.
Yeah.
It's outstanding.
We'll have
The
to put
Wrecking
that on
Crew.
the calendar.
For
And
sure.
Tommy Tedeschi's son actually put it together, produced it, and what have you, and kind of narrates and tells the story about his dad, who Tom was a tremendous guitar player. And I'm blanking on her name. I feel so bad. Kane, I think Kathy Kane. She was the bass player in the Wrecking Crew. She came up with, for instance, the riff. Boom, 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 ba-dum, dum, boom, boom, boom. The beat goes on. She came up with so many riffs on the bass guitar. She was very creative, and it's kind of an homage to those guys as well. But that music from that era and from that year, 1967 in particular, is going to blow you away when you hear all of the songs and you go, wow, that was from 1967?
Yep.
Everybody knows that stuff.
Just seeing the set list, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I had
Groove
no
and
idea. Yeah.
the Young Rascals.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Very, very
always one of my favorite bands was the Rascals. So we do that stuff. So then we kind of, in the middle of the show, we kind of moved to the whole Monterey Pop Festival thing.
Okay.
Now that festival wasn't the first festival. They had a Golden Gate. They had the Human Bee Inn back in January in San Francisco, and that's when there was this Summer of Love group got together and started forming this whole thing for the Monterey Pop Festival to do the ad and to really promote and get all these bands to come. So they got guys like Jimi Hendrix to show up. They got this new band out of England that was making a lot of noise called The Who. Eric Burdon and the Animals, and Eric Burdon even introduced The Who at Monterey Pop Festival. But they got all of these bands and all of these musicians, the Monterey Pop Festival, Steve Miller Band, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. You had Moby Grape. You had Janis Joplin was discovered there.
Yeah.
Big Brother and the Holding Company. So naturally we got Heather Moran coming as Janis Joplin.
Good.
Cool.
This gives me a chance. This is a nice segue to the girls because I've got some great lady singers that are sensational. We've got Jessica Hornston, who does our vocal charts, of course, and she's an outstanding musician and singer and keyboardist. And then we have Roxy Gorman, who sings the Gracie Slick, and they all help out. Everybody's in on the chorus, the choruses of the songs, the chorale, I call them. Deborah Petrich, who is sensational, and has just. I first brought her into the Joe Cocker show, and then made her a part of the Soul Committee, and she's gonna blow some people away. I've been very fortunate, very lucky, to have so many outstanding musicians to choose from, and who like to play,
Yep.
get together. They've all formed a great bond, and it's fun to watch them and listen to them and hear them. I sing a little bit. We got some mamas and papas. We got to do some mamas and papas. So I'll be adding myself to that, and I'm playing Sonny of Sonny and Cher.
Oh, cool.
So, along with Deborah.
Oh, that's
So we'll get
cool.
the beat
Oh,
goes on
fun.
in there. That's from 1967.
Oh, that's so
And
fun.
when she's in heels, she'll have that height difference.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
well, she doesn't need heels to be
Yeah.
taller than me.
Yeah.
That was all. That's all very organic. She, so.
I have one upstairs.
We're getting into it, and if people want to come dressed as it's 1967
Oh, yeah.
and come
Yeah.
as a hippie, do it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You know, at Woodstock, people did come dressed up.
Yeah, at the
and
Woodstock
then
show.
some people were bummed they didn't know they could
That
come
they could
dressed
come
up.
dressed up,
And so,
yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
let people know now.
We're gonna
You're
let 'em know. We're
free
gonna let 'em
to
know.
come dressed up.
So the interesting thing is we're doing this show June 17th, and the actual 50th anniversary of the Monterey Pop Festival was June 16, 17, 18.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
So it's 50 years to the
day.
weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
And of course that is when Summer of Love began. That was the summer solstice, and that's when they sort of this
see.
whole and the myth has grown over the years, obviously, about Summer of Love. So yeah, we'll all be there with flowers in our hair, and it'll be a lot of fun, and the music is just.
So, but that's not your only
roof.
Summer of Love show that you're doing. You've
Oh my
got a
God,
couple
no,
of
that's June
Summer of Love
17th,
shows
yeah,
coming
at
up.
2:10. Yeah.
Live at 2:10.
Live
Right.
at 2:10 on
June
the
17th.
17th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we get the actual.
You get the full
solstice.
3-hour
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
3-hour show. I just held up 4 fingers. For 3 hours.
Doug,
Okay.
did you slip in more songs?
Yeah.
We could have, man. Oh, we could have. I think Jay would probably have strangled me if I tried to. Oh, we could do a 4-hour show. We can do that. July 1st, we're at the Hollywood Casino in Aurora,
Yep.
taking the show on the road.
Yep.
And then
July 6th,
July 6th, we're at the
In
Antioch
Antioch.
Summer Concert, up in Antioch.
Yep.
And then the big culmination, and we'll go beyond this, but if I haven't booked it yet, but the end of July, July 28th, Joe's Live in Rosemont. If you have not been there, oh my God.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
going to be
What a venue.
Great,
huge.
yeah,
Wow.
What a
What a
facility.
venue.
And that'll hold about 1,800 people.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
gonna
going to
be
be
awesome.
large. And
Yeah. And that's with Joe Cocker. You're gonna
yeah,
do with
the Joe Cocker tribute band will start at 7:30,
Okay.
play until about 9, and then the Summer of Love comes on, and boom, we move on from there.
And that's July 28th, people.
Yeah.
Mark your calendars.
Oh, you know what? I can't believe I left out one of my favorite people at the Monterey Pop Festival, Otis Redding.
Ah, yes.
Otis Redding was at the Monterey Pop Festival.
Yeah.
So along with Hendrix and so many others. So anyway, and we'll touch on all of those bands.
That's cool. That'll be fun. It's going to be a fun night. Tickets
Awesome.
available on Eventbrite as always. So.
Yes, go to Eventbrite. You can get your
Eventbrite.
tickets there.
Yep.
And go to soundtracksofageneration.com and just check out what we have, and you'll see a lot of the other bands that are. I've got gigs coming up with some of the other bands. We've got a big show coming back to 210. We've got a big weekend,
Yeah.
the 14th
Oh, yeah.
and 15th of July. Oh my God!
Yeah. That's going
Um,
to be Eric Clapton.
Yeah, it'll be
And-
It's Eric and the Dynamos. And
Roseville
that's a great band
Revival.
with Dave Harris on drums and Scott Kaufman on keys, Louis Zagoras playing guitar.
A
Hello,
local hero and favorite.
oh my God,
Yes.
and Ira Sussman on bass, and they'll be doing Eric and the Dynamos. They'll be doing a lot of Eric Clapton stuff from Cream, from Blind Faith, Derek and the Dominoes. They'll touch on that and some of the Clapton solo singles, and then following that act the same night. Rose Hill Revival, which is the definitive Allman Brothers band.
Those
They're
guys
so
are
badass.
so good.
Oh,
They're
God.
so good.
Yes.
They're
Kevin
so good.
Purcell,
They
just
are amazing. I mean, the whole
Dean
band,
Gagliardo,
yeah.
Dono,
Bill
and
LeClaire, the whole band.
Tony,
is
everybody.
just
The whole band is
crazy
just phenomenal.
Good. Yeah.
And
That's a great show. That's
yeah,
gonna be
and it's
awesome.
I always have fun being a keyboardist. I always have fun watching a guy like Bill LeClaire play.
Oh yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a hoot.
Yeah.
And then the following night, I'm back with
Soul Committee.
Soul Committee,
Van Morrison.
the Van Morrison show,
Funk.
and then Mike Funktastic
Oh,
Zabra.
did you notice Kirsten's T-shirt?
I noticed that.
Did you see my
Instead of like the Joe Cocker tribute band, she's got Mike Zabra's
I got Mike Zabrins
Funktastic.
Funktastic. He was supposed to be here today, and he
What was
didn't
that?
show up.
Is that the Mike Zabrin night, or is that?
Oh,
Are you playing bass that night? I forgot.
Mike Zabrin ain't
Mike
even here.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, Mike is supposed to play that night, isn't he? But he's not here. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, he'll be playing July 15th too.
Mike's taking all of
Mark's gigs.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mark.
Without even being around. Mike's
Yeah,
taking
yeah.
Mark's gigs.
But
There is one more date. August 6th, Joe Cocker.
holy cow!
Joe Cocker.
In Northbrook Days.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Derek Purcell would have a cow if I didn't mention that.
Yes.
Another guy that he's my Joe Cocker, right?
Mm-hmm.
And another guy who he's going to join us on a couple of these shows,
Okay.
and he'll be singing as well. So it'll be fun having him.
Yes, he
Yeah,
can.
August 6th, Northbrook Days.
He can totally sing, can't he?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. He's got quite
I
a
saw
voice.
his Cawffee Talk.
saw his
you saw
Cawffee
him at
Talk.
Cawffee
I
Talk?
saw his Coffee Talk, and I was
You know what
I
you
was
couldn't
blown
tell
away.
is that on that Coffee Talk we didn't really have a keyboard. We had a MIDI controller.
Oh yeah.
There was this
And
big.
He was
and
beating
he
on
was
that
playing the
beat.
MIDI
Yeah,
controller.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
he started getting into it, and Kirsten and I had to reach across the table to
To
hold
hold
it
the
in
thing
place
down,
because
yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
little plastic
Yeah.
thing. It's
He'd be like rearranging the furniture with
Oh,
that
yeah.
thing. He could move it all around. He'd be like what's her Melissa McCarthy doing Sean Spicer on Saturday Night Live with a podium, moving that shit around, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to hold it down
Yeah.
for him
Yeah.
because he was going to take off.
Oh, he's not only is he a great singer, but he's a good guy. He's just such a great character.
He is. He's awesome.
And his band, by the way, hell of a band. His blues band, his original blues band,
Yeah.
is really
Derek
great.
and the Redeemers.
The Redeemers. Yeah,
The
we
Redeemers
caught
were
that. That was a
amazing.
very cool
Yeah.
show.
Very cool,
Very
very
awesome.
good show.
We're
Yeah.
gonna try to find a way to have them back at 210.
Oh, you ought to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ought
For
to.
sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and on a Friday night.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
more people.
You
need
know,
to see
the
them.
interesting thing is, look, I did that original music thing for 7 years with my band, and it's hard.
Mhm.
It's so hard,
Yeah.
and it's so I really anybody that's in an original band and you're writing your own music and you're trying to make it, and he's this great songwriter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
beautiful
who will tell
song.
Lucille
Yeah.
a song about the death of B.B.
B.B.
King?
But his guitar,
Eh,
who's going to tell?
Yeah,
his
who's going to tell his guitar? Who's going
Yeah.
to tell Lucille that
Yeah.
he's? And he wrote this
Yeah.
thing. It's like, oh my God, if you're practically weeping, and he just sings oh God.
That is on our website, by the way.
Um,
On our
oh, is it?
Yeah,
Coffee
who will
Cup
tell-
Productions
Is it?
website
Okay.
is on our
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he'll mind me saying this because he gave me permission. Doug James in the Pocket, one of our last gigs, we were the first band to actually perform that song live.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
That's an honor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's an honor.
it might be
Like,
on video somewhere, but
it's a great-
after seeing
great
his
song.
video, I probably won't want to put it up. But no, I really feel blessed, and I'm so glad to have you two as well. You know, you guys help out with so much as well,
Yes.
promoting everything.
The real wizard behind
The wizard, yeah,
curtain here.
yeah, the other wizard.
Gene Wagan, you've got nothing on me. Just telling you, I'm the wizard here.
So anyway, yeah, this is going to be a fun summer. A lot of
Yeah.
good stuff coming.
We
I'm
are
excited.
so psyched. Well, thanks for coming out for Coffee Talk. We cannot wait to check out all these awesome shows this summer. This is the new Summer of Love. So stay tuned, people. And
Check websites frequently for
Yeah.
updates. 'Cause,
Yes.
you
Sound-
know, there's always gonna be new stuff.
SoundtracksofAgeneration.com. Check
That's
it out.
right. That's right.
And this was your decaffeinated coffee talk.
yes.
Can you imagine if I was on caffeine?